Hey guys, Newbie here, and today I wanted to show you a new piece of software in Sun and Moon for collecting automatic battle points on the GamePRO. And I'll just show you quickly where the software is in the Dropbox. Also, one thing you'll notice, I don't have the webcam plugged in. You don't actually need it for this software. It's just the blue USB for the Arduino that you need. And I'll just show you in here where the software is in the Dropbox. Okay, so I'm just in the GamePRO folder here. And you'll see I've been working through trying to tidy up a little bit of this, so I've split some of the code into the different generations. So if we go to Sun and Moon, and I've been putting each of the different bits of code in their own folders. So this one is the Battle Royale BP battle points. So if we just jump into there, and you'll see there's a couple of executables, and then there's this file here, the C++ source, which is actually the source code that was used for these executables. So if you want to grab that and make any modifications or anything like that, that software is there. And then I've also been trying to add these readmes files, which basically give you some brief instructions on how you want to run the software. So the key to this one is you want to make sure you've got 3 Pokemon, preferably level 1, in the first 3 slots for your party, and they must all have the move Explosion in the first move slot. It also works best if you turn off battle animations, and obviously just line your character up with the receptionist person at the start, and then run the executable. One thing I will say is you probably want to make sure you've updated to the newest version of the GamePRO standard sketch. So I did do a video on that recently. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. So if you want to, this piece of software up the top here, this Battle Royale BP 2.0 is the one you want to run, but if you haven't upgraded your Arduino sketch, you can run this one, which this one uses everything just on time basis, so it just has a basically an excessive lag after every turn to make sure it's had enough time for everything to occur before moving on, whereas this one will use the LDR on the bottom screen to actually detect when all the turns are finished and when it needs to interact. So that's the more efficient one to run in terms of time. So we'll just double click that, and it's as simple as this. It comes up asking what COM port do you want to open, which for me is 4, and that's it. It's away running. So now I'll jump back over onto the GamePRO and show you what's going on. Okay, so this is it running on the GamePRO, and you can see it basically starts off just by pressing B a couple of times. I've set it up like that because occasionally you find that when the port is first open, you get a little bit of a false trigger that comes down the serial port, and sometimes it can activate one of the servo motors to press one of the buttons. So I just have it so that right at the start it presses B a couple of times to make sure it cancels any interaction that may have occurred. And you'll just see in my party I've got 3 Pokemon all at level 1, and they're basically the whole idea is that you want them to faint effectively on the first turn when they get sent out. So that's the whole reason why you want them each to have Explosion in the first move slot, and that's why also it's better if they're all level 1, just in case you get the scenario where you get flinched first turn, or a Pokemon has the ability Damp or something like that. So you want to make sure the Pokemon faints, and the reason for that is basically you just want to lose the battle as quickly as you can, because you actually get 1 battle point even for losing. So that's basically what this software is doing. It's just going to keep losing as many battles consecutively as it can and earn 1 battle point each time. So this one at the moment is using basically the bottom screen LDR to detect when there's a step change in the brightness of the bottom screen. So also for this, it may help if you turn your screen brightness onto maximum, because it's trying to detect when it has as I said, like a step change in that bottom screen, which it just saw there. And so now it's going to use the move Explosion, which probably 9 times out of 10, because it's only level 1, it's going to get killed before it even gets the chance to use that move. But then you need to wait for all of these the other battle moves to take place, so this is why it's best to turn off battle animation so that it works a bit faster, and then it'll just cycle through sending out the next Pokemon, and again just trying to faint immediately. So I'll just fast forward this next little bit so you can see what happens when it gets to the end of the battle. Okay, so the battle's finished now, and it's basically just asking if you want to save that battle, which it will just choose no, and then move on. And then you'll see, great effort today, please accept your battle point from the battle spot. So you get 1 point basically for free here, just for losing. And then it's just going to repeat the cycle again. So it's just basically a free way to slowly accumulate battle points. So if you just leave it running for a period of time, then you can just basically accumulate free battle points and get any items you want with it. So this is some footage I got during testing when I left it on for 15 hours, and I worked out you get around about 15 battle points per hour on average, and you can see I collected well over 200. So this is a pretty useful piece of software. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and until next time, see ya.